Good evening, speed running fans. Good evening, Super Metroid fans. We are here for the Super Metroid multi-category extension tournament, a Game 3 decisive matchup between apathyduck and susreime. I am Professor School. I'm joined in the commentary booth tonight by my co-commentator, Kev Nastix. Kev, what's up? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing awesome tonight, Prof. I am so excited to be doing comms with you again. It feels like forever since the last time we did comms, which was actually one of my first like 2 or 3 races doing comms, and you gave me a lot of really great advice, a lot of really helpful advice for that. And you've been a good pal and good help out with Super Metroid. So I'm super happy to be here with you and all our viewers and our incredible racers, Apathy Duck and susreime. And enough has not been said about just exactly how awesome and prolific these runners are in Super Metroid. I'm hyped.
Yeah, I am right there with you, Kev. We just lifted the gate on this race, and any moment now, here we go. We are heading down onto Series Station. I agree with you 100%, Kev. This is a hype matchup. We went 1-1 in the first 2 matches, or the first 2 races between these 2 players. susreime and Apathy Duck splitting the first 2 of their series. susreime coming in with a 1 hour 26-second win versus a 1 hour 51-second second place finish for Apathy Duck in the 69% category. Collect 69% of those items and then get to the ship and off the planet. And then susreime and Duck played a very hard-fought and difficult North Korea percent matchup where susreime was not able to actually end up finishing the race, and Duck came away with a 1 hour 8-minute 57-second win to tie up the series and force this decisive third game. Folks, let's talk about this category really quick. This is Nintendo Power Percent. It'll start like any other category, but it's going to look kind of rigid and kind of specific to every other time you've seen it. What can we know about this category here, Kev?
So basically, it's more of like the intended way to play Super Metroid, with some very odd and esoteric, weird picks. We're basically going to follow a Nintendo Powered Guide, which was a magazine from back when, we were kids. I don't know about you, but I had every magazine from the very first time they ever had it, that whole first year. So Nintendo Power magazine has been around for a really long time. So you're talking a game in 1994, and these writers came up with like what seems like a very arbitrary way to, hey, you should collect this item and then this item to complete this game, and it's not what you would see in a typical speed running race. So if you're familiar with Super Metroid, we're going to see Spore Spawn. So the runners are going to have to remember not to go in early supers. We're going to go get high jump boots before we fight Kraid, which, is very interesting and very, difficult for people who aren't used to having high jump boots in that scenario. But then we have really weird stuff like getting the Norfair Reserve without grapple. You have to do either a weird wall jump or an IBJ, which is an infinite bomb jump, or you have to do a D boost or a like a spark. And then there's Meridia, and that's probably where things get the most weird for somebody who's used to watching Super Metroid speedrunning. So a lot of really weird choices. It's almost like the magazine's like, we want to show where some hidden items are, and maybe you should pick up this, maybe you should pick up that, and yeah, that'll get you the best ending.
Yeah, I think safe to say not written with today's speed running standards was that original Nintendo Power Guide. Well, we are off and away here in this exciting, decisive match between Apathy Duck and susreime. susreime coming in with a slight advantage here in the series station time of 45:26. Apathy Duck just slightly behind that, having a little bit of issue with that final jump onto the elevator, getting some steam RNG. With a 43:17, so about 2 seconds behind. But as you can see, a little bit of better movement early on here, and susreime has just managed to maintain this lead of about 2 seconds coming into our second item of the 49 required items that complete this category. So almost half of the items in this game collected, just one short of that.
That's a really good thing to mention too, because this category is so specific, and you have to pick up items in the exact order that the Nintendo Power Magazine said you should be picking up these items. Our runners could be facing a time penalty if they get too few items or if they get items in the wrong order. The other scenario is if they pick up too many items. The rules say that that's not a penalty because it's already a time loss in itself to pick up an extra item. So I know for me, for one, I almost lost the race because I forgot about precious missiles. I just wanted my like regular speed running, regular category muscle memory, went right to dragon, and I got a minute penalty for missing up an item that would have taken me 3 seconds to get. So you have to be very specific. It's the rules say you have to pick up the items in the exact order, and the only rule we don't follow is we're not going to super Phantoon 5 times because that's just absolutely ridiculous. We have to have some kind of speed strats here.
That's right. And technically, not officially part of the guide, there's something like a 60-step guide.
Yeah.
It includes not only those 49 items, but the bosses and the order you're supposed to defeat them in. And there's a little inset that suggests 5 supers is all it takes to defeat Phantoon. And I'm still waiting for that gentleman's agreement between 2 runners to intentionally run a 5 super fight against Phantoon. I really want to see it.
Oh my gosh, it would actually be really hard to do that because I don't think anybody's going to be going into Phantoon's lair with 5 super missiles. So you'd be relying on drops, essentially. I don't know about you. I generally don't have 5 supers when I reach Phantoon.
Yeah, you just got to farm them off the flames, obviously.
Exactly.
Just like the powerbomb farms and the no major glitches kill Croc's tongue RTA, obviously.
Oh, jeez.
All right, and there we go. We've disposed of our first BT. This is kind of a more unique BT fight. Typically, you're not coming in here with 10 missiles, already 2 missile packs having been picked up at this space in the run. And so as a result, it makes this fight just a little bit easier. Fortunately, both of our runners finally able to leave with full health. And susreime growing that advantage just slightly. It's probably more like 10 or 12 seconds at this point. Just a cleaner section of rooms coming up to the newly awakened planet.
See, now Duck is an unreal runner. Duck has great times in every category, a very superb runner, excellent movement. susreime is like on a whole nother planet when it comes to movement and strats. I'd like to borrow a line from Mr. Guy Average. susreime is a crafter of strats. He studies these rooms, and I gotta tell you, I don't think I've ever seen him play the same category the same way twice. He's really adaptive, can really move well on the fly, shows some of the coolest movement tech I've ever seen, and tends to be very volatile and very risky. Whereas apathyduck is very rehearsed, very well practiced, and super consistent. So I think we're going to see a great juxtaposition here between both of our runners, and I'm hoping for a 2-round spore spawn because susreime is the only runner I have seen do that in a race.
Yeah, susreime is the only runner, as far as I'm aware, in this tournament who has pulled off that 2-round in a race. And here's one of your first major divergences for those of you who are familiar with the standard speedrunning route. In almost every single category, you are going to come into this green Brinstar main shaft, and you're going to get those early supers. That early mock ball is pretty much the first gatekeeping trick that you need in order to speedrun most Super Metroid categories, both the major and minor categories. And in this case, we skip right over those early supers because that is not as intended. We are not sequence breaking here. And you see these runners will go all the way down and pick up those Donect and Charge Beam, and now make their way all the way back up. Where are they going? Who knows? I'm not sure that anyone ever explores this part of the map unless they're doing Mappo or True Completion. So we'll just have to figure out exactly where it is they're going right now.
Yeah, and a couple fun facts. Not that our runners are going to be using Charge Beam, but charge shots actually do double damage on Spore Spawn, which is kind of an interesting piece of tech that you can learn about right here. And also, now that susreime's in the Spore Spawn fight, I know the second round of Spore Spawn acts a little differently than the first. You can freeze the maw open very similar to the way you do the crate quick kill. So I'm going to be looking for that and seeing how susreime pulls off this Spore Spawn kill here.
should be coming up just in a second here after 4 rounds of swinging around that room.
Ooh,
Ooh,
4
is that?
missiles.
Well,
At
I'm not
least
sure
4
how
of them.
many of those actually hit.
Force Spawn
The
does have a wonky hitbox. It's very small.
Yeah, it is a very small hitbox. Let's see if we can get a stun lock here. I think that may
Oh!
have been 3 missiles into the stun
Oh,
lock.
wow. So close to a 2-round. That was incredible. Duck with some good shots, too.
Yeah, and as Kev pointed out, that stun lock that you can get is only on rounds 2 or later. It's very difficult to get the stun lock in after the second round when Force Spawn is moving around that quickly. But nicely handled there by susreime, getting the 3 round, going for the quick turnaround there, and I think probably going for the moonfall, but just missing the edge of the platform there. But a really, really nice super missile touch time, and a 3-round fight from Duck as well. Very well handled. That is a place where you can lose a ton of time to a runner that's already finished a 3-round fight. You can go 4 or 5 rounds very easily. And
Oh.
fortunately for Duck, no such problem.
I gotta say, that's gotta be the first Nintendo Power race I have seen where both runners got the exact same they both got the same amount of rounds on Spore Spawn. So the only advantage right here is just simply susreime's had a little bit better movement. All right, so let's go. It's already super exciting.
And let's take a look at the history here. The Nintendo Power category has been run quite a few times, almost 10 times in this tournament already. And we've got these 2 runners holding down 2 of the top 4 times that we have seen so far. The overall best time we've seen in this category is a 107.53 from number 1 seed and still undefeated in this tournament, Mr. Guy Average. susreime's coming in right behind that with a 107.56 in one of his races. And Duck's best time is a 108.27.533. Why are we frame counting that far down? That's because it was just a few frames victory or loss, I should say, to Bands with Legends. And we had a real barn burner in that one. So some really nice times, 107, 108 for both of these runners. They both have the capacity to really run absolutely blazing fast times in this category.
And these are 2 very well-practiced runners, and they really run a good job, Prof. One exciting thing about this tournament, I think, is not only are we seeing categories showcased that aren't typically ran, but you have to be some kind of a mad genius to be that exceptional in this many categories, because literally every route is completely different. Every room, like Business Center, where susreime's going, there's a different strat to enter Business Center in every category, and it's different from the others. It's just wild.
That's right, Kevin. Here is a great example of that. Skipping Kraid entirely? What boss art are we running? Well, we are running Kraid first here in this category, but as you pointed out earlier, going down and picking up all 3 of these high jump items first, including high jump. If you're a Phantoon first runner, you're used to getting to Kraid late and having high jump already, but for a lot of you KPDR runners out there, you are not used to having high jump until after the fact, and it can make some of the setup for that Kraid quick kill feel just a little bit funny.
I do wonder if this route, definitely throws Duck, because Duck is all, to my knowledge, exclusively a new route runner, at least as of late. So, the high jump boots will be very appreciated, but this is, this category. I mean, Duck does a lot of categories. He's going to have no problem with that. But I do know that Duck is a new route runner, so it must be interesting for him to run a KPDR kind of route.
All right, and as promised, heading our way back up into the warehouse to Kraid's Lair. Again, a different item set that you might expect here. Definitely a unique sort of category. We do have a really big gap right now between, well, let's see, what is it? I guess it's not actually that large. I thought maybe it might have been close to a minute, but it's not quite that far. So susreime just seems to be adding a little bit extra to that lead every single room. Duck making, I think, a nice decision there with the extra super missile to pre-open that ice door, that green super missile door, and that'll save a little bit of super missile count coming back down into Norfair later on the next trip.
basically susreime just saves so many frames per room versus his opponents because I gotta say susreime has the tightest ledge grabs out of anybody I've seen in the entire tournament. Just little
Yeah,
optimizations like that. I like that little bomb crate quick kill. That's I saw Hero 82 do that setup for the first time, and I know that Hero's a fan of that. And I'm pretty sure susreime and Hero are friends.
get a little bit of a high five here from our runners. susreime makes his way out of Kraid's lair at just around the 14-minute mark. So we'll get a little time check here on the Varia touch. And there is, oh, it looks like we might have a little bit of extra content here from Kraid, unfortunately. Oh no.
You know, at least it's not max GT, so Duck has like a ton of missiles to take out Kraid pretty quick. Oh, jeez. I said it.
Yeah, fortunately not having any extra super missiles here.
Is there anything that gets you more steamed up than missing Kraid just like that? Oh my god, I get so mad at runs when that happens.
Yeah, and it happens to all of us. Me in particular seems to happen more in races than anything else. I find myself thinking, wow, I haven't missed Kraid quick kill in a while. And once that happens, it's kind of GG. I think that when that mental game goes in that direction.
Yeah, I got to tell you though, if that's the only thing that goes wrong for apathyduck, it won't be too bad. But it's going to be really hard to absorb missiles like that with susreime. The thing that Duck I think definitely has to their advantage is we were talking that susreime doesn't hold back at all in a race. Like I've seen susreime go through Rising Tide with 1 health, and or 2 health and or 2 energy and just barely make it out. So susreime is going to go for everything. susreime's playing to win, and I don't expect to see any safeties at all from susreime.
Yeah, I think it was in the GT fight in maybe the very first race of this entire tournament.
First Iron Rusty.
Yeah, I think it was at 2 different points in that race, once against GT and once somewhere in the long, strange Meridia route from Gravity directly to Springball. That susreime was in single-digit health, 2 different points in that run.
Right side wall time. Here we come. Sorry.
No, not at all, not at all. Yeah, that was the very first match of the entire tournament. And that was actually one that susreime ended up losing. Had susreime won that, maybe what I think consider the biggest upset of the tournament so far was that nice, beautiful Iron Rusty win over susreime in that first round. That would have actually set up susreime with a second round matchup against Duck. And after all of this, 2 months later, these 2 runners reunite in the redemption bracket in a winner-go-home scenario. We actually had not pointed that out before, folks, but we are just down to it now. The final 6 runners or so in this tournament, and with the exception of Mr. Guy Average, sitting tidy at top the winners bracket right now with no losses. The remaining runners left in this tournament are all playing to survive. So not only is today the final game in this matchup, but the loser of this matchup is eliminated from the tournament, and the winner will go on to fight another day and go into that backdoor redemption bracket semifinals with a chance to get back into that grand finals against Mr. Guy Average later this summer.
So Prof, do you have anything invested in this race?
Oh, beautiful from susreime there, getting that
nice
charge and spark across. There's a couple different ways to handle this revisit into Bubble Mountain, and that spark is probably the most swag of all of them. Really, really nicely done there by susreime. Not dodging the question, Kev. No, not at all. As it turns out, in one of our redemption bracket semifinal matchups, you're going to have
thank goodness.
Cashmod versus Cashmod versus Bands with Legends, and the other matchup, the winner of these 2 gentlemen here will go on to face none other than yours truly, Professor School. So I honestly, no joke, quaking in my boots because both of these runners are incredibly talented. I'm fortunate that I get to sit around waiting to see which one of them will play me in the next round, and I've got my work cut out for me for sure.
So, and there's an example right then about what I was talking. Oh my God, what I was talking about with susreime. Took like 3 full tanks of damage in that room right there, and you might have wondered, well, susreime, what are you doing? If susreime had picked up that missile before that reserve tank, that would have been a minute penalty. Because in Nintendo Power Percent, you must pick up that missile first. So this is a smart, smart farm by susreime. So maybe learning from past experiences, and that was very risky. And just watch the room that Duck is going in, the room that susreime just left. It is a very awkward room to travel. It's a very awkward room to go to, and there's really I can't think of a fast strat to get through there at all.
There is a really nice bounce ball, and there it is actually displayed.
Oh! Go, Duck! All right, so unfortunately for Duck, that's a minute time penalty.
Yeah, we'll have to confirm with the tournament organizers. I believe that you are right, Kev. I believe that the order of those items is critical. There's a couple things like when the death flag is set for GT versus when the super missiles at GT are picked up that we don't quibble over those things. But I do believe you're right, and that picking up those items in their specific order is necessary.
Well, actually, the other thing to remark on the GT fight, if you look up the rules of Nintendo Percent, that is the only category that you are required to pick up supers after the death flag has been set. So unlike in Hundo, you cannot pick up the GT missiles first. But I got to tell you, if my missing Precious and getting Precious missiles after Space Jump was a minute penalty, I would not be surprised if Duck lost a minute right there from that pickup. But you know, all things considered, better to pick up that missile than to die. So, still the better choice. This is also the category that features the most red tower you'll ever see in a single category.
A lot of red tower, up and back and up and back. I think, goodness gracious, 3 different times maybe? It's just it's a ridiculous route. I have to remind myself when I'm running this, okay, you're going up to get alpha power bombs. Then you have to come back down and get ice. No, excuse me. I guess you get ice first. You go up and get alpha power bombs. Don't go to Fantoon. You got to go back down. Then you go get grapple. Then you have to go back up to Fantoon again. Oh my goodness, it's unbelievable. There's just so much. There's so much to remember in this tournament with 5 different categories, and this route in particular is just so not intuitive. It is not in sync with almost anything else that you do in any other category in this tournament, or for that matter, on the leaderboards. It's just rife with areas where things can go wrong.
I think that's another thing where susreime has a major advantage, because I know one thing that I've noticed from watching, like for instance, his YouTube channel, is susreime likes to just take rooms and just pick them apart for categories and make like kind of like test routes, you know. So is not afraid to experiment regardless of the category with various ways, not afraid to grind a room and practice a bunch of different strats. And susreime likes swaggy strats, will often take swag over speed, which is a really unique feature of his runs. So I just can't wait to see what susreime's going to do next, because I know susreime runs a wild wreck ship and a really exciting Meridia, and I hope Duck's luck does change for the better, because Duck has a lot of different things that he can showcase as well. Duck is a very powerful runner, and if anybody can come back from those issues, I'm sure, you know, Duck has the best chance.
Yeah, I totally agree, Kev. We do need to keep an eye on the health for both of our runners here. Down under 1 full tank for both of them, and this run is not particularly challenging per se at any individual point, but collectively there's just so many spaces where, both because of your intention to pick up their items in the correct order, because of the strange output that you have, the loadout that you have, and just because of some of the, well, as you'll see in a little bit, some of the strange routing, like going from gravity after Fantoon directly to Spring Ball, which just puts you in a very strange set of rooms with a unusual loadout. It can be pretty treacherous. There are certainly some things you can do to alleviate that. There is the Sloater's refill at the bottom of Red Tower here that some runners opt for. I usually go for it in a safety. Hard to say in this situation what the best decision is. Usually this is not the place you'd pick it up. You see Duck skipping that Sloater's refill. It's usually most appropriate going into Meridia. And we still have, as you can see here on susreime's screen, a trip down to Croc first, then back up to Fantoon, then finally over to Meridia.
You know, I think, Prof, in this tournament so far, I think susreime is the only runner who's ran Nintendo Percent and has not taken the Sloater's refill. And I do not expect him to take it today, but we'll see. Oh, there's that short charge and spike suit just for swag. I wonder where susreime's going to use this. I'll be interested to see.
Yeah, so this actually ends up being about a 6-second time save if you get the spike suit in order to get across from pantry missiles over to grapple.
I knew you'd know it, Prof. I knew you would.
Yeah, it's about 6.5 seconds or so. It's really, really comfy. Actually, the first time that I've ever seen someone use this was, we've mentioned him before already on stream, but Hero82. Hero uses this in early Croc, which is usually the spike suit you see saved for late Croc. But in early Croc, you can actually use the same spark, and there you see it right there, and that's exactly how some of those early Croc runners use it. It saves about 6 seconds. You don't have to go all the way back down and recharge with your speed booster to get all the way across that large pantry room.
So, Prof, we have apathyduck is critically low and has to get this Croc E-Tank before anything else if he does not want to incur another time penalty, and this is risky. It's doable. You got one shot. GG.
Yeah, he should be okay, and sure enough, with only 38 energy and, well, I mean, I guess...
Down to 18, Prof. He was down to 18.
Down to 18 after taking a little dip in that asset. I will say, susreime has showed this off once in a tournament, and has done it multiple times on stream. You can actually infinite horizontal bomb jump across the lava without taking any damage. So there are options if you're too low on health, but it's incredibly difficult.
And I would say susreime's also probably the only one in the tournament who could pull that off if they actually had to.
Do you not infinite horizontal bomb jump across bowling, Kev? Isn't that how we all do it?
I dabble.
All right, well, we're very glad, of course, to see Duck pick up that E-Tank and this run to continue without any issue. Of course, the gap is still pretty large, but there is a lot of danger in front for both of these runners. And this is very interesting here. So this is something that happened to susreime once already in this tournament. Yeah. This is one of those really strange choke points in the run where the runners are just so conditioned from a lot of other categories, going down to Croc, picking up that grapple, and then making their way all the way up through that green gate exit and into Business Center. And this actually happened to susreime in a previous matchup. Accidentally went all the way up to that gate instead of this very strange routing choice of skipping wave when you're at speed and coming back for wave 5 minutes later.
And what the heck is this about? Like, as far as sequence breaking goes, you mean to tell me that they were like, oh yeah, let's get the Norfair Reserve and do these really strange strats to get the Norfair Reserve. we don't even have ice, but we can get the Norfair Reserve, but we can't wall jump, which is like arguably not only the biggest sequence break in the game for like an 80% route, but probably the easiest one. I would say this is arguably easier than a mock ball.
Yeah, it's anybody's guess what those Nintendo Power editors were thinking when they created this guide, honestly.
I have this theory that they just wanted to showcase just the major items, because why else would you get X-Ray, So they wanted to showcase the major items, plus they wanted to show, because like Mama Turtle missiles, You know, who would find those in a casual playthrough? You know, so it's almost like somebody's like, yeah, we gotta put in some of these like hidden items so that people feel like they're in the know or something. I don't know. It's really bizarre. I actually love the category. I think it's really fun to play, but it is really absolutely bizarre and so awkward to play.
Kev, I've got your answer for you. X-ray is obviously picked up, so you don't get locked into baby or stand up.
I told somebody that stand-up was intended by the developers. Otherwise, why else would you pick up exactly 7 E-tanks in Nintendo Power Percent?
And X-ray as a safety.
And X-ray, so it all comes together, man. For Deer Force, not only did
Deer Force knew, and there was a Deer Force infiltrator into that Nintendo Power Percent conference call that they had.
Oh man, but you know what? That wave beam pickup right there, it probably cost susreime about 30 seconds at least, if not more than 30 seconds. So that definitely gave Duck a chance to catch up. And you know, with Duck, it's also worth mentioning that Duck is also I don't know if still is or not. I haven't followed the whole tourney, but Duck is in the triple bingo tournament, which is a completely different mindset compared to speed running. When you're playing something like bingo. So I don't know if Duck's rhythm is off. Certainly this isn't the play we're used to seeing by Duck, but meanwhile, watch how susreime gets through this X-ray. He'll do this better than virtually anybody else. So fast.
Yeah, it's a really tight wall jump. Pretty simple D-boost to start off the flea there, but it's a very tight wall jump to get up in a spot from the ground where you are not actually hitting the spikes and get bumps back down. And if you do, the timing of the room is totally messed up. You don't have things to D-boost off of, and things can get sort of dicey pretty quickly in there. And it's actually really important not to take too much damage at this point, because there's not that many more E-tanks between now and some of the more dangerous parts of Meridia that you'll be picking up. So this is where health really starts to become a precious commodity in this category.
Yeah, usually susreime will take D-boost off of the waivers because they hit way less hard than the spikes do. And I mean, the X-ray room, a billion other rooms, I swear susreime has the most backups of any runner I've ever seen, and about 15 ways to move through every room. Now the real fun begins. Nice alpha spark from apathyduck. Starting to get hot on the heels of susreime. I'm going to say the gap has been narrowed. Oh no, he's got X-ray. So probably we're looking at, oh, you know what? Probably about 2 minutes now that I think about it, because Duck does have that minute time loss. You can see the difference in strats moving through the X-ray room. I'm more along the lines of what Duck is doing, because again, in this category, you're going to notice right after Wreck Ship ends that health energy is at a premium, and there's not a lot of it. And if you've ever tried to move through Meridia with with gravity suit, and it's obviously it's not suitless Meridia, so it's fairly easy, but the amount of sand you have to deal with no normal way to navigate through it, I don't know. I can't wait for it. It's gonna be wild.
Whoops. Nice little recovery. One dip in the moat for susreime, and then immediately after that, almost losing out on that shine spark timer, but making it through into the still sleeping Wrecked Ship. Let's see what Fantoon has in store for susreime today. Duck taking a little bit of extra damage here, coming back through the X-ray hall, and will be making his way back up now to the Wrecked Ship as well. Nice.
I'm not too worried about Fantoon for both of these runners, and I'm really not worried about Wrecked Ship. It's kind of the Meridia section is really where it's at the category is at its absolute most dangerous. But let's feast your eyes on susreime's Fantoon strats. The Master Doppler. Oh, just as I said it. Oh, I'm a bad commentator. Ooh, fast. What?
Nice little air Doppler there from susreime. It's actually not as difficult as you might think. You just hold forward on the D-pad, and as long as your Doppler timing is okay, not an issue. A nice recovery there from susreime, and I have to say that Phantoon was quite friendly with the pattern today. Could have been punished for some of the issues with that first Doppler with 2 slows, and instead got a fast and I believe a mid to wrap up. And then, of course, on top of that, did well to handle those patterns. So a nice cleanup there for a 3-round fight for susreime.
It does seem that Phantoon tends to like to really make sure that the guy who's behind stays really far behind by being very favorable to the person who's in the lead. I've noticed that a bunch of times. But Duck does have pretty low health going into Phantoon right now. Shouldn't be too big of a problem. Duck is an experienced new route runner and also does max GT, and this is really about the same amount of health you'd have going into Phantoon at a max GT race. So I'm pretty
making
confident.
it easy for Aria as well on this position, right? So you're not
plenty of
taking
missiles
damage at least every time.
Yeah. Oh, picture perfect.
Yeah, and of course, there you go. After all those quick patterns from Phantoon, I think a mid-fast mid. Already seeing our first slow, and it goes to the runner that it really needs the extra time save here. Thanks a lot, Phantoon.
All right, a happy fast. Okay, come on, Duck. Clear it up. Oh, just missed that missile and super. Heck, Phantoon, y'all.
Of course, the rare second and later round slow right pattern. Getting the extra missiles in. Oh no, and the super just going wide. Just a little bit of an error there with that Doppler. Not getting the super in, and another slow right. Are you kidding me, Phantoon? Oh my goodness, and that was just 1 missile short at that point. That is really frustrating. That is a slow, fast, slow 4-round fight. Gosh, Phantoon just absolutely trolling the runners here.
I know a lot of people say Ridley is the biggest troll, and while I absolutely agree that Ridley is, I still hate Phantoon more.
Yeah, I believe that Phantoon is actually sentient and does his best to screw with us. I'm pretty sure Ridley's just a dumb space pelican that you can manipulate very easily.
I actually said that in my stream, I think, yesterday, except I said it about Batoon, because Batoon has this amazing way of just dodging your charge shots. So it does, you almost get a feel sometimes that the bosses are sentient in this game. Like they just have memorized your playing patterns and, the cartridges. I know I'm going on a tangent here, but it reminds me of Kip. Kip is, would say he said something one time about there being like a break room where all the Super Metroid bosses go in and hang out like after the match, like, oh, did you get her this time? And I could definitely, picture Phantoon going, oh yeah, I gave about 3 slows. It was beautiful. This was great today. What am I talking about? Nice spark.
I love that. That's a great image. It reminds me of the what is that really awesome YouTube video that summarizes the cartoon form of Super Metroid?
Oh, something about Super Metroid.
Something about Super Metroid, yeah.
That is the greatest thing ever. Even my kids love that. I watch that at least once a week. I think it's fabulous. It's I don't know who did it, but if you can look up something about Super Metroid, go do yourself a favor and check it out. Whoever made that absolutely loves this game and understands it.
Nice bowling spark there from apathyduck.
Here comes the exciting part, Prof. Hold on to your seat. We didn't have a Sloater's refill. susreime's about to get dangerous.
All right, and let's see. We should have a nice shot through here. Jump across this room, open this door, and clear out this crab. And we're going to have some beautiful Meridia sparks. I expect susreime will probably get this short charge as well for the second of these Meridia sparks.
I don't know. Wow. So that first spark susreime got, I've only got that one time, and it's in my PB. He's going for the ice clip. Not even necessary. Oh my, oh, so close. What an animal.
You know, I've
Now,
actually, I haven't timed it. I reckon it's probably slightly faster to do the ice clip than going all the way around.
and even if it's not, it's swaggy, and we know susreime loves the swag.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's a weird room because if you go up and around, there's not the extra door transition, but if you go through the door, you do spend the extra 3 seconds. Now, obviously, in that case, susreime missed the clip and needed to go through 2 extra door transitions of about 6 seconds total. But gosh, yeah, I don't know. I hadn't actually considered running ice clip, which as a late croc runner would be pretty easy for me. But I don't know. I don't know if the risk is worth the time save. Probably only some frames, if anything.
The first time I ran this category, I spent like 15 minutes on the ice clip because I thought that was the only way you could do it because I just didn't know the category. But I wanted to give you a shout out, Prof, because susreime did not take the usual damage from did just there. But, you know, a lot of people will lay the power bomb and damage down on, you know, to save the frames there on Shack Tool. And I remember you saying that in the commentary one time, like, there's no reason in this category to do that. It doesn't save enough frames to be worth the health.
Yeah,
Loss.
Seriously, those snails and Shack Tool both hit for a ton of damage. And right now, as you can appreciate, just sitting at 99 health at a full tank only, you are going to be in a really interesting situation here. susreime needs to get back through these next couple rooms with just the 1 tank of health here. And these are dangerous rooms, so this is definitely the sort of one of the big hold your breath moments where anything can happen. And of course, Duck taking that Sloter's refill, so we'll be in much better shape. Oh my goodness,
Beautiful.
not a single hit in that room. My goodness.
There's still
Freezing the Evers. Just unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
Oh, like he meant to do that at just 20. That's the second time I've seen susreime at like critical health at this point, and he's just gonna go for this GGG. I'm telling you, come on, don't take a hit by a crab, please. Slow down, just slow down. Make sure you kill him. Thank you.
All right, that's holy smokes, folks! What we just witnessed. That first room without taking any damage, both using that spring ball, freshly acquired, and then backing that up with some nice freezes on those Evers, and of course, absolutely annihilating that short charge and having just enough health to reach that final platform after the Shine Spark was interrupted by that low health warning. Absolutely unbelievable stuff there from susreime. And now getting that E-Tank from Mama Turtle will refill that health and put susreime in a much, much more comfortable situation.
Yeah, and Duck, you can see the difference right there. Duck, the way Duck had to go through those Evir rooms, missed the spark, and is taking the intentional damage from Shack Tool, but, you know, not as big of a deal for Duck. Duck did take the Sloter's refill, and he's got quite enough health to get through all this, but you know, I gotta say, I'm sure Duck is pretty frustrated by how he's playing today, but it's going against susreime in a winner-take-all kind of scenario. Oh, nice wall jump into Crab Supers. Jeez, susreime comes up with strats that I wouldn't have even, like, I wouldn't have thought to do that. I would just do it how everybody else does it, just go up the left wall.
Yeah, nicely phasing back through that crab. You can interrupt the crab's momentum there with a nice bomb drop. Slow it down by a frame when it takes that hit, and then phase through the crab on the way back. Very nicely done.
I learned so much about Super Metroid from listening to you, Prof. I really do. Thank you so much. I just play. I don't know anything about time saves or frames. I'm just like, I've seen like better runners than me go for this. That looks cool. I'm going to do that.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I think I obsess over the details, maybe just a little bit too much.
Nah, there's no such thing. There's got to be a guy who does it, and I'm glad it's you. Now, once Susreime gets through Dragon, there's really not that many more highly risky or highly dangerous sections of the game with the loadout that Susreime's going to have. I say that, and you did mention the GT fight that he had against Iron Rusty that went catastrophic, well, near catastrophic. But then there's also, chain damage we're going to have to watch out for on Dragon, which, I'm not going to say it, but
Nobody dies of chain damage, especially
No.
not in a tournament. It doesn't happen, Kev.
Never.
Confirms to have never happened. Oh, and that's really unfortunate for Duck there. Coming in with a pretty low super count into this section of the run. Only had, I believe, 2 chances for that green gate glitch attempt. And not managing to get it on the running attempt or the backup. And we'll need to spend roughly 17 seconds or so. I don't remember the exact time loss to go back around here.
I know it's got to be at least 10, but I don't think it's as great as 20. I think Susreime or somebody had said it was closer to like 10 or 15 seconds. But who knows? And right then, I mean, I'm just at this point, if I'm Duck, I'm just trying to survive, and I don't want to say hope, but kind of just try and survive, and because Susreime has died in a lot of races. Like I'm definitely not slamming Susreime. They could die 5 times in a category and beat me, but Susreime does play really, really risky. So Duck's best chance is just to survive, just make it through this game, and hope for the best. And this is a unique Moondance strat. I'm sorry, whatever you call it, rain dance.
Rain dance.
Rain dance. Susreime's the only one I've seen that uses that setup, and it's really reliable for him. And this is looking like it's going to be a pretty textbook 2 and blue fight. What? Fired that super just a little bit early. I guess was trying to. Oh man.
Yeah, it looked like misjudging the timing a little bit there. And again, it can be really tricky because Dragon can do a fast swoop there, and I actually admit I don't fully understand what dictates that fast swoop from Dragon rather than the slower appearance on screen. And I believe in both those cases, Susreime was expecting that faster swoop, didn't get it either time, and as a result, in both cases, sparked the full distance across the room while Dragon was only just appearing on screen, of course getting grabbed that first time. And this is exactly what we were talking about, right? There's not an energy pickup at this point, and because of those extra sparks and some of those spanks from Dragon, rather than leaving with 5 or 6 tanks worth of energy, only 2 full tanks now for Susreime plus whatever is in reserve. So not dire straits by any means necessary, but certainly less than ideal coming out health-wise from this Dragon fight and going down towards Norfair.
I mean, I'm going to tell you it's dire straits just because of how Susreime plays. He's not gonna do himself any favors. He's just gonna run the way Susreime runs, which is fast and exciting. And we've seen him die in lower Norfair with next to no health. I do have your answer though, Prof, of why Dre swoops the way she swoops. It's very simple. It's and we kind of touched base on it a little earlier. The game is sentient and just is sometimes a jerk.
All right, and this time, no super issues for apathyduck, getting through that Batoon fight nicely with the D factor, as Susreime already through that Dragon fight and picking up Plasma here just in a minute.
It's amazing how fast these runners are, even with the mistakes they're making. I mean, it's Duck is so good at this game. It's kind of sad to see Duck so far behind. I hope they get this full halfie. It looks like the setup is pretty good. Nailed it. Beautiful. Well done. What is your favorite section of Nintendo Power Percent, Prof? Whether it's watching or playing.
Done.
I had a 50-50 feeling you were gonna say that. I don't know. Am I the only one who loves this category? I know it's
I,
wonky and all that.
I think
it's
it's you and Bands. Honestly, I think you and Bands are the two holdouts for loving this category. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
All right,
You know,
Bands,
it's a fine category.
I know, but I think for a lot of runners, it's one of their least favorite categories to play. My least favorite is any percent all bosses, so I'm pretty good with just. I even like that one too. What are you gonna do? Come on, Duck, get this fight.
No. Bit of a rain dance gone wrong. That is unfortunate.
Well, if your short charges are going to leave you, it's going to be in Dragon's Lair. It seems that that's the place where it's going to fail, at least for me, anyhow.
Oof, and a beautiful spring ball jump into that gate opening there from susreime. Just every time you look over, there's something a little bit innovational, something that you can learn from on that side of the screen. Just really, really incredible stuff.
Mm-hmm. Duck's cartridge has it out for him today. What the heck?
All right, Dragon, we've had enough. Fry that shrimp, please. Thank you.
Oh, it feels bad, man. I mean, how many runs have you had? Like, I've had tourney runs like that. I've had casual runs. I've had so many runs like that. It feels bad, man. Come on, Duck. Let's bring it home. Meanwhile, we have susreime getting ready to enter Lower Norfair. For a runner of susreime's caliber, this health should not be a problem and should not be an issue. We will be going to fight Golden Terizo. Fun fact, Prof, this is a valid any percent all bosses fight.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
It's a slow one.
I hadn't really thought about that. It's a very slow one, but it is a valid any percent all bosses run.
I almost thought about like just picking any percent all bosses against Nefty and memeing Nintendo Power percent, just because there's no way I was going to beat Nefty anyways. But no, it's pretty cool. And this, watch out for this strat if susreime nails it. Oh, missed the shot on the door. He usually does that real swaggy bounce ball over the toilet. What is this? The toilet bowl? What have I heard this called? The lavatory. I think it was Christofalo who dubbed this the lavatory because you sit there and flush.
Yeah, and that's a really nice strat. The Blue Echoes space jump strat coming across. I think even Zenny, way into his world record grind for 100%, continued to use that for how swaggy it is, despite the fact that it ends up being about a full second slower than some of the newer strats that have been found for that room.
All right. Yeah. susreime's keeping it real interesting, taking a dip in the acid almost to be like, I don't know. I don't want to say anything.
Tempting fate.
Yeah. Find the right pixel, please. All right. Let's go.
Might be slightly far forward. I don't know. Let's see.
I think he's good. But we're not going to see any of those banana boomerang shots from GT because he's susreime's under 32 missiles, and the fight is over. By the way, y'all, do yourself a favor and watch. You can even go on YouTube now and watch some of the past tourney matches from here. Every race susreime's run in has been exciting for a variety of reasons. And while we're at it, thanks to SpeedGaming too, and thank you for all of our viewers and everybody behind the scenes putting this together. Please follow the runners. They're great Super Metroid players. Follow Prof, by the way. Prof's in this tournament. Super awesome Super Metroid runner. And here we go. Fast pillars and down the toilet for apathyduck, and let's roll. A little more Metroid. So lucky susreime didn't take a hit by that pirate. 51 health is not critical, but it is worth mentioning the last E-Tank we will be picking up is the Ridley E-Tank, but you must defeat Ridley first.
Yeah, and the final item of the game that will be picked up, number 49.
Did susreime actually pick up the crack escape missiles, or did he realize where he was at that point?
You know, I actually don't remember. I just know that I looked over and saw he was back in the croc escape room.
So
But we'll
either way,
certainly find
again,
out with whether or not we get that 50% again.
yes. And if this does happen to be a PB for susreime, which honestly I don't think it will be, it would not be a valid run for the leaderboard if it is not exactly 49% and the items have been picked up in the specific order. And again, low health. Now, susreime can farm after this room. I don't expect he will. But 254 in a reserve should be enough for susreime to take out Ridley. But I mean,
No,
it
it
is.
should be totally fine. Yeah, if the health was a little
Wow.
lower and the pirates gave some sort of strange super only drops, it may have been something. But this is going to be a super comfy 20-shot plasma fight. We'll see. Maybe we'll even get some supers. At least 3 supers. Maybe
Yeah,
we'll get more.
susreime always peppers in a few supers in the fights that I've seen him do. But yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. And those pirates were very generous. Every once in a while, you're right. You know, you might get a couple small health drops with a bunch of super missiles, but that ended up working out pretty well for susreime. Oh wow. Okay. You could. I like to wait in morph ball. Heck, jumping into the claws, man.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, despite the troubles that susreime has had at some points in this run, including almost forgetting to go and pick up wave, this run, if I'm thinking about it correctly, might actually still be on 107 pace, which is pretty insane. Yeah.
Jeez. Imagine if susreime made like 80% or 75% of the strats he actually goes for. Because you know, this is not the strongest run I've seen susreime have, and still trucking. I love this spring ball strat. I can't figure it out, but it's so cool. The kind of reverse Kago.
Oh yeah. You come through the door. Don't hold anything, and as soon as Samus in Morph hits the spikes for the first time and drops into the acid, you simply hold A, or whatever your jump button is, and you will KO through both of those platforms from underneath. Literally all you need to do is hold jump, and you'll spring ball up through them.
That's working on the assumption that I know how to do that shot and ball through the door.
Well, yeah, so the setup is the more complicated part. That's right. But once you get that setup, it's simply a matter of waiting until you take damage and then just holding jump. So you're fully capable of that setup, and then it's free after that, Kev.
An answer in chat: how did Duck fall behind? Duck has had just basically unfortunate luck in a lot of different areas. Fantoon was an absolute troll. Duck did lose, actually will also incur a minute time penalty for picking up items in the wrong order. Got a little hecked in the Norfair reserve room, and it's been kind of like one little thing after another, and just the race just Duck is not playing at their full capabilities right now. So that's kind of the story, and also, I mean, I don't know, but Prof, I'm sorry, if susreime wins, you're gonna have to find out what it feels like to go against this absolute legend here. I can imagine it's intimidating for anybody.
Oh, I can't wait. I've got plans. So. I mean, look, susreime is a better runner than I am collectively, but as you pointed out, there's a high degree of volatility in a lot of these categories, and I think that volatility is only amplified by the manner in which susreime chooses to play them. And as a result, do I feel super confident? Do I think I'll win, that match if we played it 10 times, 6 or 7 times out of 10? No. But do I think I have a better than zero chance, a non-zero chance of winning that matchup against either of these runners, particularly susreime, who looks favored at this point to win and move on? Yeah, I give myself a 1 or 2 out of 10 chance at least, and we'll just have to play and see how it goes, right? I mean, susreime had that very unexpected loss in round 1 of the tournament. Granted, he's continued to improve in all of these categories since then, But that is all. That is the reason we play these games.
Foosball, baby, that's my skill. I love it. I got foosball in my Nintendo Power Percent race against Glausio. And
Nice.
I got it in 2 of my GT Classic tourney races. I actually get that about half the time, to be honest. And it's really it's a frame perfect. It's a tough trick.
It is. It's a single frame input, and especially in GT Classic, it feels like it really validates that run going into Fan 2. It's just one of those tricks. I think Sephi talks about this idea of feeling validated in your run, regardless of how badly it's going. If you get something like that foosball, it feels really, really good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Prof, I wanted to say, statistically, if we look at just the way the tournament has been going, if you would like to beat susreime, statistically, your best chances are in max GT code and North Korea percent. Because I know that sounds crazy. It's like, what, susreime is like a max GT legend, but he has lost 2 max GT races to Mother Brain. So, you know, it's funny, but statistically, those 2 categories would be your best shot comparative to how susreime has raced in the tournament so far.
Kev, you're talking to the professor. Don't worry. I've run the numbers.
That's true. I forgot who I was talking about now. I wanted to sound like I knew what I was talking about, Prof. Like I've studied, like I've done the math, you know?
Oh, no. I trust that you have. I trust that you have. But don't think for a second that I haven't been preparing very hard for this matchup and preparing equally for both runners. And it's only now that I think maybe I have to shift my strategy firmly in the direction of one of these runners. But we are not over yet. This race has not finished, and we still need to see that dot done and get through Turian here for susreime. This is not quite over yet.
No, you were absolutely right about that. And feast your eyes on these Metroid rooms. If he nails them.
Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Oh, and the grapple farm. Holy smokes. Let's go.
Yes. I love that room so much.
Nearly perfect on room 3 there. The only additional thing you could add is the spring ball through the door that saves about another 30 frames. That's almost as good as any Turian 4 Metroid rooms that you are going to see, folks. That was absolutely a beautiful display of how those rooms can be run.
Yes, I'm going to point out susreime's meme health right now. A little shout out to another category in the tournament, 69%. All right, let's go for this YOLO skip, susreime. I know you want to. Boom.
Holy smokes.
Oh, geez. Now the most volatile point of susreime's recent tournament matches is we have the Mother Brain fight. I would typically not be worried about it, but we've seen susreime have some trouble. And not only that, but if we get stand up, there's about 1,001 ways you can fail stand up. So everybody send susreime your good vibes. And hopefully we come out of this fight really clean. Meanwhile, Duck is on his way to Turian as well. And seeing how this turns out, we'll see if Duck goes for a glorious finish. And Mother Brain 2, everybody. Ooh, thank you for the raid, Bressingham. Heck yeah. Bressingham, another tournament runner of high skill and high caliber.
Yeah, Bressingham waiting at the top of the mountain here for everyone else coming through the redemption bracket. We will have bands with Legends versus Cash Mod scheduling their best of 3 series coming up. And the winner between apathyduck and susreime here in this final run will face, as we talked about before, yours truly, Professor School. The winner between those 4 coming out from those runners will face Bressingham in the finals of the redemption bracket and be the only remaining 1-loss runner to move that back into the grand finals against Mr. Guy Average for the title of Super Metroid Multi-Category Extension Tournament Champion, version 2021.
Prof, I was having flashbacks right there. I don't know if you remember the GT fight, the Max GT Code race that susreime had, where he did not damage down fast enough because Varia's suit was still on, and I was having flashbacks there.
Yeah, unfortunately able to get through there, and with X-ray equipped, susreime should be just fine here, even with a lock into the floor, no such issue. But yeah, that was really the last scary moment there. Was making sure to damage down sufficiently fast with Varia still turned on. And susreime managed to do that, so that I think just about will seal it. There is still a chance for a baby lock in the right corner here, but susreime seems to be playing it very safe. We'll see. Just a couple more shots here before the baby detaches. Yeah, and susreime not even going for the strat where you can get the baby off just a few frames early, which is one of the risks of keeping that baby in the top right corner and putting it in a position where Mother Brain literally cannot finish damaging down that baby for that final kill. But no such problems here for susreime, and that will just seal it here. We are going to get an absolutely blazing fast time. This is going to be the best time in the tournament, I think, so far for this category.
Oh yeah, by far. And just to put this into perspective, I believe Zost has either a 101 or a 102 in this category. And Zost, you know, nobody would say, I mean, Zost is the best runner there is in this game. So that just goes to show you exactly how good susreime is. I always wondered, like, if susreime ever actually really grinded out these categories and went for times in all these categories, what his potential would actually be in this game.
Very high.
Seriously.
Short and simple answer, yeah. Zost holding the world record in this category, as you mentioned, with a 102.46. And then we have a slew of runners, all with 105s. Mr. Guy Average, Shiny Azeni, and Kip. And as I mentioned, susreime had come in with, I believe, a 107.56 previously, and is going to absolutely shatter that here.
I knew it.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. susreime loves to save these animals. We were looking at a 105, and that would have put susreime squarely in with Kip and Shiny Zenny with about a 105.40. But we're going to get a very, very respectable low 106 with an animal save here. Incredible stuff.
You know, susreime is a very modest person in my experience. Just absolutely a wonderful Super Metroid runner, wonderful guy, does excellent commentary, very good sportsman with his opponents, and you know, all about enjoying themselves and having a good time. So GG susreime. An official time was what, 106.21
with an animal save.
With an animal save. And we do officially have a forfeit from Duck, deciding not interested in finishing this race. And I got to tell you, I can't say that I blame you. Yeah, unfortunately, nothing did go right for Duck. So sorry, Duck. Hopefully I turned on the right button. Okay, we still have audio. Uh-oh.
All right, folks, and we are joined here on commentary by apathyduck, awaiting susreime as well. Duck, it was a rough day at the office for you. Not anything much was really going right. Very sorry to see it. Any immediate reflections on the end of your tournament here?
Nope.
Yeah, I hear you.
I've done like 3 tournaments now, and I'm just like, I'm glad to have one done. Honestly, I wanted the 59, 49, 49 in all bosses. 69 in North Korea, and I got that. So, and this has been going on for a while, so I'm fine with it being over.
Yeah, and I have to say that 59, 59, 49 in those 3 categories is a really incredible accomplishment. So congratulations on that. Nicely done.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, Doc, thank you for running. I'm, bummer it didn't work out, but it's been absolutely wonderful watching you through this tournament. I really enjoyed your playing style. I am a big fan of your running, all your stuff in Super Metroid. So it's really great to have you in the tournament, and I hope I get a chance to catch you in some of the other tournaments that you're in.
Yeah, I mean, I had way too much of a gauntlet to run through on this. Like, literally everyone I would have faced in this should have been a top 5 seed. That's all I faced the entire time. Me, or Bands, susreime, Nevdi. I mean, Nevdi forfeited, but I would have had to play him. Obviously, susreime should be the 2nd seed, who's now joining us. What's up, GG?
Thanks, Doug. Thanks for GGs.
Yeah, GG susreime, an absolutely incredible run that you posted today. A low 106 with the animal save, could have been a 105, which would have been best for top 5 on the leaderboard, and put you right up there with Kip and Shiny Zenny. Just, other than the little hiccup, almost forgetting Wave, it was more or less a flawless run. You did incredibly well. Do you feel pretty good about the run today?
Yeah. Thank you for the words. This run had, I think it was a fine run. It was a pretty strong run, especially Turian. Turian, minus the escape, that was probably one of my best Turians ever. It's a little unfortunate that I wasn't able to. I prepared a few strategies for this category in the past couple of days, such as doing the Puyo ice clip without space jump is something I had to find a strat for, as well as there was a full strat in the Norfair reserve room, but I couldn't pull it off. I mean, that room was a little went a little disastrously. So some parts I'm not entirely content, and obviously this being our decider match, I have to just apologize to Doc because it's actually an invalid run. This also happened when I played Beef Robber.
Mine would have been invalid too. I accidentally got the missile in Norfair Reserve first. Like, I just fell down and I shot because I was trying to get rid of the guy, and I just ran into it. So it would have been an invalid run. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. I don't know if that would have been a time. I don't know if that's a time penalty in this, because that one's like the dumbest one, and it really doesn't affect anything. But
yeah,
we confirmed with one of the tournament organizers that unfortunately that would have been a +1 penalty, despite being close. I mean, it's totally silly, right? But that's the way the guide goes, I guess. Yeah, I agree.
That's the worst one. I ended up getting a minute penalty in my race because I forgot the precious missiles, and I got them after space jump. But yeah, and actually, susreime almost died there. I think. What health were you on, susreime?
Yes. I think I was at 86 or something when I was still in the lava. It may have dropped down to somewhere in the 50s, and I don't even think I had reserves. And that happened to me because I almost fell to the same trap. I accidentally shot out the missile block, and so I had to know before I was able to get to the reserve when Samus was in the acid. So there was no ground for me to evade. So I just had to tank the lava damage. That missile pickup almost killed me.
I think you spent like 7 or 8 solid seconds in the acid. It was a nervous moment in the commentary booth for sure. And I think you've had some of the most nerve-wracking moments in Nintendo Power Percent in this tournament so far. In that very first matchup of the entire tournament, you were down to single-digit health at 2 different points in that run. So you're no stranger to that sort of those tight situations in this category.
Yeah, somehow this category just doesn't like me. Always actively tries to kill me. But right, today's run could have. I for a moment I really thought I was going to my run was just going to end there. Norfair, like of all rooms, I had to end in the Norfair reserve room, and I was actually just somehow just laughing at myself. But yeah, I miraculously survived. But sorry to hear that, Doug. Yeah, that's just a really silly pretty steady penalty, but I guess new power is new power, so there's a reason.
I mean,
There's a reason you don't like not too many people like new power, and it was kind of showing in today's race. I feel just like some of the things that new power can do to you if you're just and can put you in just some really difficult ground. Yeah,
it's so long. It's so long to like for effectively any percent. Like it's so long. This is 29.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is like 25 minutes longer than actual any percent, just because you have to do so much dumb
slow
stuff.
any percent all bosses.
Yeah, it's so. It's just, and you get X-ray. Like why?
I know.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
They tell you where all the items are. Why are you getting X-ray?
I have to say,
for
Duck, though,
people like
you
me-
oh, sorry, Kev, go ahead.
I was gonna say, for people like me who actually like this category, I think I'm in the minority.
Yeah. Oh, and there's no routing differences you can do or any. It's just like all the other ones have like some sort of. Even GT Max has routed with all the stuff you can do in the beginning. You know, North Korea's got a bunch of stuff you can do, and then the other two, obviously, you can just do like a fan tune first or something. But this one is just like do this. It's like I don't wanna. Like this is dumb.
Right. Like,
it was fun. It was fun to start as the meme, and then it was like this is silly.
It does get old fast. I will agree. As much as I like the category, I will absolutely agree with that for sure.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, Kev. It doesn't get old fast. It just takes a really, really long time. It is. I think that's exactly the complaint.
Oh man. So, but you know, it's I'm just thank you so much for your participation in the tournament, Duck, and susreime. In case you didn't know, you have your next challenger in the booth here with Professor School. I don't know what y'all got planned for this race coming up. I know Prof is starting to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that Professor School would be my next opponent. Well, whoever wins this race, whoever wins today's race, will be facing Professor School, and I know he's a formidable runner. So, but I'll try to just focus on entertaining the viewers. I feel like that's what I try to do all the time, at the cost of time sometimes. But
we love it.
Well, yeah, we'll have our day to stream. I'm looking forward to it, and it'll be a pleasure to go one-on-one. And if we're fortunate, maybe like you said, we can give the fans a nice show along the way, and highlight some of the nice techniques that Samus can do in this across these categories.
Oh, definitely. Even though, as Doug was saying earlier, just new power percent being, say, the least variable in terms of, has the least variation and customizability in terms of five, like of the five categories this tourney, I actually don't dislike it at all, just because it gives us some opportunity to show very obscure tricks, obscure strategies in Super Metroid. So I think it's a silly category, but I still like it. Any category that shows how fun and profound Super Metroid is, I feel like it's always for me, it's always enjoyable to play and study. So yeah, hopefully, yeah, Professor School. I'm really let's put on a good show. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's put on a show. I will do my best to keep, as you have said yourself previously, susreime, I'll do my best to keep Samus fit over the next week or so as I prepare for our matchup. And but before we sign off, I do want to send one more shout out to you, Duck. I do think if we were voting right now, I would still give my match of the tournament so far to your matchup with Bands. That 3-game series was just absolutely fire. All of those matchups so close, including that 3-second differential in your Nintendo Power run.
If only you could have seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is my only loss that's by more than 30 seconds. Although, to be fair, the last one definitely should have been too, but I mean, that was just a grapple escape. So, yeah, like I said, like, I've had to face no one except for my first match. Like, everyone should have been a top 5 seed, and that's all I've had to face. So I've had zero room for error. So, you know, this is the first real bad one, and it's like the first one we had, it was like 20 seconds differential. Like, if I could have taken that one, then this would have been different. But as soon as I lost that, this was pretty much over, to be honest. So.
Hopefully, if we have another multi-category extension tournament next year, hopefully you'll be back, and You know, what other? You're in triple bingo. Are you also SMZ3?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Goodness, what a workload, Duck. That's insane.
yeah. So good luck to you in those tournaments. I hope you have a really good time, and I hope we actually get you in for some commentary. We still got a couple matches left. I mean, maybe you're burnt out by it, but just from a fan, I love your commentary also, Duck. So it's been a pleasure listening to you in the booth and watching you play. And thank you so much.
Yeah, I just haven't had time because I've been preparing for all this, so now I'll have a little more
Right.
more leeway. So
Yeah, I mean, I must say the same. I must say the same to you, Duck. I think you just undertook so many commentary roles over the course of this tourney, and I really like your commentary. It's witty and it's funny and it's really it's really clear. And so yeah, I'm just echoing Kevin. Kev, really like your commentary, and thanks so much for all the work you've done to help make other matches just a better watch with your commentary.
Oh, thanks.
You pull no punches,
sentiments,
man.
so
I love it.
Thanks.
Well, folks, there you have it. Another incredible 3-game series in the books. And we have our final 4 in the redemption bracket set. In one matchup, the number 7 seed, Bands with Legends, against my dark horse for the tournament, number 12 seed, Kashmod, who's been playing incredibly consistently. And on the other side, yours truly, Professor School, will be hesitant but willing and able to take on susreime, the largely underseeded 18 in this tournament, as Duck alluded to before. The winner of those two will face each other, and we've got Bressingham waiting in the wings for a chance to play Mr. Guy Average in the grand finals. So that's all from us here today in the commentary booths. We thank our runners. Please go ahead and follow both susreime and apathyduck. We've got their Twitch links up in the chat. Go ahead and throw a follow over to myself for my co-commentary. Kevin Nastix here, both runners in this tournament and in a lot of the other tournaments around our community. And please stop by our Discord and check us out. There's always a lot of good community and discussion, not only on the multi-category extension tournament, but also a lot of the other strats and categories that exist in Super Metroid. So with that, I'll throw it over to my co-commentator, Kev. Why don't you take us home? I've been Professor School. Thank you, everyone, for a great evening. Kev, take us away.
Well, that does it. That wraps it up for us, and that wraps it up for this episode of the Super Metroid Multi-Category Extension Tournament. We want to thank you all for watching, and thanks, everybody, and we will see you next mission.